Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be carrying on with Citizen Sleeper. Let's find our save game. So, we're getting through it. Currently on day 40. My first run took 50 cycles. We're on cycle 40. I think they will take longer because of the extra content, but yeah, we'll see how we go. Okay, so here we are. A bit low on energy. That's fine. We got money to buy food if we need it, which we will. In terms of what I wanted to do, I think we want to take a look at stuff here, the conway access. Now, once we start this, we're going to need to do it fairly quickly. So let's get the Ripper Worm going here. It's not the best dice to be doing this, but I think it's a bit like the other one where it's not high dice you necessarily need, but the right numbers. The worm tunnels in and starts looping data through the node. The Conway facility opens up to you. Godspeed, fam. As you slot the worm, a thread jumps up out of the facility. It unspools in front of you, releasing its data like ink in water. Sleeper, Feng's voice crackles through. Moving in! Nodes, then ports. A whir of interference. Slot the worms! Timer starts now. Stay safe. The thread dissipates. You're on your own now. So here's the first one. We need a 3. We have a 3. This is good news. Bypass this. Extract data. Port located. So now we slot in the Ripper Worm. Feng's progress layer S unlocked. Security layer disabled. We now have a couple of choices. Consec. One, we need a 3 here. That's good. We can do that. And here, a 4. We can do both of these. Let's start with this 4. This is very good. So we might need to do both of these to get the next port. So we'll use our 3. This is actually couldn't have gone better really so far. So we have one here. We want a Ripper Worm here. The Ripper Worm fries the drone's network link, and now they can't report anything. So now we've got 3 more. Let's have a look at what we need. We can do this one. That needs a 3. This one's a 4 or a 6. Or a 5 or a 6. So 4, 5, 6. Well, I think we'll do the one we can do with today's dice. It's pretty good progress so far. Pretty pleased with that, actually. But we're going to have to rest now because we're out of dice. But that's fine. Made good progress. We do have the reroll, but I think I'm also going to use my stabilizer tonight to... Oh, I can't get energy from here. Yeah, I get full stabilizer. So, can I buy food from the farm stacks? Barter for food. Yeah, we'll do that so I don't have to go across the greenway. No, that'll keep me going until tomorrow. Right, so let's rest up. What am I doing here? Ah, thanks, progress. So this is the clock. So we have 6 cycles to finish this. I mean, we've already done 2 of 3 segments, so we've done really well. Yeah, we're going to inject the stabilizer, so I get 5 dice to choose from. We're looking for 4s, 5s, and 6s tomorrow. Let's see how we do. Oh, that's pretty perfect, I think, actually. Alright, let's do this. So a 6 or a 4. And this one's a 5 or a 6. So we'll use a 6 and a 4. go. There's our 4 here. Last one. The final layer controls surveillance. With this down, Feng should be able to control the facility's cameras. The Ripperworm chews through camera control. The moment it does, a thread shoots from the facility. A thread from the facility cuts through the cloud like a hairline crack of light. That's it, the final layer of security broken. Somewhere, buried in the depths of the station, Feng is in control. He is slicing into the camera control circuits and piping out the result. The thread flickers and unravels into an image, a scene. 2 figures in a room, one sat, the other pacing. The pacing figure resolves into Hardin, the unmistakable superior posture, the shock of grey hair. The second figure's features don't seem to resolve. They are vague, unformed. A problem with the data, perhaps? You look closer. Then you see it. The figure is a proxy. Perhaps you should have expected it from Conway, a corporation whose very existence is owed to automation. The proxy is a machine, designed to be piloted by remote connection, someone elsewhere in the system puppeteering it with their own body, speaking so it may speak. The proxy sits impassively, or the Conway executive that is piloting them does, from the distant safety of some ship or orbital colony perhaps.
We can move forward, there is no doubt, Hardin is saying. The reclamation teams are almost ready, and after that I will make the declaration. Nothing has to change.
The proxy leans forward, its movement stilted, uneven, as if its body was being refracted through water.
But things must change, Hardin. We need further assurances. I have been informed of a breach in one of the closed networks in Low End. You have been careless.
Hardin waves the accusation away.
We've been stretched. A breach was detected, yes, but no data of value was lost.
Our board is concerned, Hardin. A drop in our value would be unwelcome at this time.
The proxy leans back, its posture dominant.
If the reclamation of A1 is contested, then we could be drawn into a compromising legal position.
Hardin approaches the proxy.
There'll be no contest, not from Solheim, who cannot muster a defense, not from Havanich, who will fall into line below me.
He crouches in front of the seated figure, eye to eye.
The people of this station, refugees, gangs, spaces, all either opportunists or degenerates. Havanich is no longer strong, no longer united. No one here believes in Erlen's vision, nor has the strength to enact it. I sat across from him at the negotiating table. He was forceful, eager, weakened by his ideological convictions perhaps, but a great man nonetheless. This place no longer deserves to bear his name. The Eye is crippled, cannot survive. It is a ruin filled with squatters and outlaws. They will be lucky if it still spins in 100 cycles.
Hardin stands.
You'll move forward with the reclamation, because otherwise you will lose your advantage in the system. Without your advantage, you will lose claims on the remaining palladium. Without the palladium, your factories will go dark.
He pauses.
Do I need to continue?
One moment, comes the response from the proxy, and its head drops to its chest. Hardin steps back and paces once more, awaiting the discussion taking place elsewhere in the system. You watch Hardin as he paces, as he considers his future. What goes on within a mind like that, in the mind of a man who would burn all those around him for a path to some imagined golden end? The proxy lifts its head. We're happy to proceed. We will legally claim the station formerly known as Solheim A1 as salvage within 6 cycles. Havanich is to assist with the transport of the illegal residents to Conway housing and labour facilities. The proxy judders to its feet. Conway will also claim 70% of the raw output of the reclamation process, after losses have been accounted for. Hardin nods.
I accept.
The proxy reaches out to shake his hand like a marionette, and then the recording stops. You watch it play out a second time, gripped by a horrified fascination. There is a bluntness to the conversation, to its blatant disregard for humans as anything other than objects. Things to be moved, to be used, to be fed into structures, crushed and losses accounted for in the cells of tables, the margins of ledgers. You realize now that you are no different from anyone else You realize now that you are no different than anyone else on his station in the eyes of the people in that room, and those like them. Each body here can be recast as a piece of property, a tool, an expense, an acceptable loss. In one moment they can be named a citizen, celebrated, protected, and in another the very idea of citizenship can be used against them. This is what it means to live in proximity to a system like this. No longer, not while the eye spins. You gather up the recording and pack it into a polygon of purest light. Then you drift down into the service dock like a falling leaf and find the relay. It only takes a second to place that polygon of data, that recording, into the relay system Feng prepared. And then you watch as it bursts out, a web of threads heading out into the black, to every network device on the eye. Let them see what power makes of a man. An upgrade point. And we'll find out in a little while what happens next. Not sure what the timer is on that. We have 2 upgrade points, so I don't intend to let my condition get down to breaking, so I'm not going to go there. I'm going to save up an extra point and maybe use it on one of these. I'll have a think about which one I want to go into an extra number for. Right, okay, well we've got some more dice now, obviously. Okay, so we need 2 club head caps for Rico. We didn't... probably need to plant more. Yeah, okay, so let's work on getting those spores then. How does a 3 look? Not amazing, but we'll try it. Growth spores, good. Okay, and now we might get... Is it 3 we want or 4? It might be 3. Let's check. 3, yeah. So we'll plant these. Hopefully get some club heads from these. There we go. Our tree is... or seed, rather. It's got a little while still to grow. Those are growing... I think what I might do, I might go back and do a Rabia mission with my 6. So I'd like to get towards... helping Sabine, if possible, down this route. Might do it with this energy, actually, because that'll save me money. Scrap is good, but I need energy right now. There we go. So we're halfway on this now. We need another 6. Ooh, something's happened. As you say your goodbyes to the other enforcers and walk back through the low end, a chirruping catches your attention. In a quiet corridor away from the main thoroughfares, someone has stuck a small recorder to the wall with a suit sealant tape. Written across the fluorescent tape is one word: Sleeper. You peel it away from the wall, and as you do, it triggers some kind of improvised trip switch. Sleeper! Sabine's voice crackles through. I've seen you with the Yatagan members. Are they holding you captive now too? A high whine. I'm sorry if I've dragged you into this. Do not trust them. Something is happening within the gang, some kind of power struggle. You cover the speaker a little, their voice too loud in the quiet corridor. I will come soon. Thanks to your efforts, I've located most of their properties. At the right time. A pause. I will see you soon. Don't give up. Remember our deal. The recording cuts out. You stare at the recorder, processing what you've heard. Hearing Sabine's voice again opens up something inside of you. An SNARP employee. Do they know that I know? You struggle with a mix of concern and distrust. You throw the recorder into a nearby waste chute as you leave the corridor, still unsure who to trust, and head quietly out of the low end. So I don't think there's a particular timer on that, but I am pleased it's already progressed the Sabine stuff, because I'm not that fussed about helping Rabia, to be honest. Looking pretty good for energy. How are we doing with Emphis? He needs one more day before he can make us the next meal, so let's have a little rest. We'll feed our kitty. Not bad. Maywick's getting close, but we're on course with Feng, I think, in terms of him getting rid of our tracker. Oh, it's Moritz.
Sleeper?
Moritz is waiting for you on your way out.
How have you been?
Surviving? Moritz nods.
That's the struggle.
He glances around. He runs his hand through his hair.
I've been meaning to ask you, Sleeper, what's it like?
He pauses, suddenly unsure. I mean, you know, what does it feel like? To be a sleeper?
Yeah.
He shrugs. If you don't mind. It's hard.
No doubt.
He looks up.
I have a lot of sympathy for it, like having to go find a place, having to survive, having no future.
He looks down.
A lot of people around here understand that.
Moritz looks away and you notice him for the first time. Not just as Bliss's assistant, but as someone with their own worries, their own struggles, their own life. You feel bad for not noticing earlier. Moritz looks back at you.
Anyway, got a message for you. Bliss sent me down. We've scored another contract and she needs your help. That's the message.
He pauses.
Look, I know the last time payment didn't come through, but you did good work. Bliss knows that.
That's no problem.
Alright then.
He pauses again.
She's doing her best, you know.
I know.
He nods. See you up there.
Moritz turns and strides off, leaving you in the corridor. Time to help Bliss, and maybe this time you think to yourself, it'll work out. Okay, we've got Emphis. We might go do that. We need the energy anyway. I'm just going down here to see if... Oh yeah, Feng's Bay. So... the building's in chaos. Most of it's in total lockdown. No one will give you a straight answer about Feng or Hardin. We've got one more cycle till we get a resolution on that, which is quite cool. Alright. So let's go and eat some mushrooms. Emphis is preparing the Matsutake caps. He cleans them carefully with a damp cloth before shaving the stalks as if he were sharpening a pencil. His knife slides through them, revealing the bright white flesh within.
These are good, Sleeper, very good, he says without looking up. I bartered with Minji for some kelp too, so we can brew the dashi.
Dashi?
A soup base, very good.
Emphis slides the sliced Matsutake mushrooms to one side and takes out a closed pan. He opens the lid and you see the green wafer of kelp sitting in a bath of water.
Been soaking it since last cycle,
Emphis explains.
Should be good to warm now.
He places the pan over the burner and turns it on low.
We have some time now.
He wipes his hands clean and throws the cloth over his shoulder.
However, there is one difference this cycle.
He smiles.
You've been the one providing the ingredients, so it is my turn to provide a story.
Okay.
Good. This story is important to me.
He gestures for you to both sit on the folding stools behind the stall.
You see these?
Emphis runs a hand over his forearm, tracing the circular scars that mark them like perfect bite marks.
Conway called it an anchored interface rig, a mechanical control device for piloting a heavy-duty extraction suit in low-G industrial operations. We called it a bone suit.
He points to the pattern of larger circles on his shoulder.
They drill in and anchor it here, then all the way down the arm.
He taps each scar on the way.
It maps mechanical movements to the suit exactly, a one-to-one mechanical replication. You swing your arm, a 2-ton arm swings too. You should have seen the recruitment vids. Strong people in even stronger suits, tearing through stone and scrap. Superheroes. Half my graduating year signed up, from company school to company shuttle. Conway from birth to death.
He stares off into the distance for a moment, fighting with the memories.
But the bone suits weren't good. The rate of failures was high, and failures meant arms torn off, anchors torn out, broken bones. Bad stuff. So after a while, Conway discontinued them. No longer competitive, they said.
He checks the broth, turning down the heat and adding the mushrooms.
So there we were, hundreds of us with surgical alterations for suits that didn't work. They sent us home, back to that company colony that spat us out to be cleaners, drivers, cooks. They gave us drugs for the pain and told us to make something of ourselves. When I deserted, bribing some passing spacers to take me into orbit, there were only me and a couple of others left. The rest just faded away. Arthritis, osteoporosis. They folded in on themselves like paper lanterns. That was my generation. The anchor points still ache, still burn. He touches the scars, but what burns worse is the betrayal. I've been in the eye a long time now, but that will never fade. Not that, and not the faces of my friends.
Emphys reaches over and sprinkles a handful of leaves into the broth.
It is ready.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to me. I will not let their story die, and as long as I am telling it, it will remain.
Emphys pours the broth into a double-walled metal bowl and hands it to you. The heat radiates through your hands and the smell drifts up, rich and sharp, like a pine forest after the rain. You drink the broth slowly, chewing the matsutake and thinking. Emphys busies himself with cleaning the pans and the bowl, sealing the kelp back up for another day. Then he quietly comes to sit with you while you finish your meal. Neither of you speak, preferring instead to let the story linger in the air a little longer. It is not that there is nothing to say. It is that sometimes, in the moments after something, speaking breaks the spell. So you both idle, eager to be in each other's company, Emphys taking longer over his cleaning, his packing, and you savouring the final dregs of broth. When you finally finish and hand in the bowl, you feel the spell break, and the story leaves you both. And as you leave, you know that both of you are somehow a little more empty, and a little more full than before. Upgrade point. I think we might be done with Emphys now. I think if I click on him, it just get the option to buy food. Yep. So, that was Emphys's story. Now the choice. Engineer, interface, intuit, engage. I mean, I think I'm going to lean into interface just because that's who our character is supposed to be. I'm not going to metagame it. Let's just say, you know, that's where our skill lies. I don't know how many more levels we'll get, to be honest. We'll hopefully get a couple more upgrade points. So yes, we're still waiting for this. The mushroom. Well, I think I'll tell you what. We'll go up and help Bliss because I think the mushrooms and stuff are going to need a cycle or two more to grow. We are working on the I'm not sure. Sycamore seed. Fragile biome. The sycamore seed's internal biome is in trouble. Every action will bring it closer to collapse. Okay, so we want to save the crop. The sycamore seed needs to be reinforced and sealed, otherwise the crop will be lost. So with this dangerous one, we can get 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is just under half. But we were going to add, wow, you know, probably 20, 25% at this wheel. I think we do it because I think we do that one. Actually, I wonder if that's the negative outcome, isn't it? So hopefully we'll just get the positive outcome on this sacrifice section. No, we did get a bit of fragile biome, okay. But we did pretty well there. They're all 4s, so hopefully we can get a couple of positive outcomes. We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more sections, so possibly just all these dice will be enough. Yeah, so we need 3 more, and then we need another positive, and maybe a neutral. That's a neutral. If we can get 1 more positive, which is going to be harder off a 3. Positive, we've done it. Okay. You and Bliss are floating in the bay's airlock, waiting for it to cycle. You pick a few leaves from your clothes as you wait. They float around the chamber as if carried by a lazy wind. Clean work. Bliss bows a little.
Well, thank you, Sleeper. You didn't do so bad yourself.
She checks her tool belt.
Seems like we're getting into a good rhythm.
A rhythm? That's hard to say with a Scouse accent. The now familiar sequence of clunks and rattles sound out, and then the door hisses open. The moment it does, you know something has once again gone wrong. Oh no, we're not getting paid again.
What's all this?
Bliss asks a confused-looking Moritz. Beside him are a set of crates anchored to the bay floor. He's clearly just brought them in through the bay's freight lock. Moritz looks nervously between the two of you before answering.
It's payment.
He runs a hand along the crate. The Sycamore Sea crew just brought them over. He stops, but seeing the look on Bliss's face adds, "They were very thankful."
I bet they were.
She clenches her fist.
What the hell is inside?
Moritz leans over and struggles with the catches on each side of the top crate. As he does, Bliss turns to you.
Don't say it.
Bliss stares into space.
Don't you dare say it.
Say what?
You know,
She looks back at you.
this isn't my fault.
Moritz finally gets the catches free and the lid floats off, drifting up into the bay. As it does, a small brown lump floats up with it. Moritz reaches out and catches it as it passes him. Is that a mushroom? Bliss finishes.
A damn mushroom.
They paid us in mushrooms?
Not just mushrooms.
Oh, this is Moritz. Not just mushrooms. He holds out a clump of tightly packed leaves. Produce. Bliss starts laughing.
God damn, high for commune. Should have known they didn't have a chit to rub between them.
She knocks a small brown mushroom across the bay. Stop, Bliss. Moritz grabs her hand. These are good, fresh. We can sell them.
To who, Moritz? Are we running a grocer's now? We need cryo, otherwise this whole bay will be shut down. We can't pay for parts with leafy greens.
She waggles them in Moritz's face. I can use them. Bliss raises an eyebrow.
What? 4 whole crates? Even you can't be that hungry. You can take a few, but the rest will sell.
She smiles to herself.
Or at least Moritz will sell them if he's so eager.
Moritz closes up the crates and starts moving them. Isn't that bad, Bliss? It's a step in the right direction. He glances at you, looking for backup. They'll sell well. Bliss sighs.
Looks like I went into business with a couple of wannabe farmers.
She laughs.
Prove me wrong then. Show me this is a windfall.
She kicks away towards the new, patched-together terminal.
Until then, I'll be working on how to keep this place open.
Moritz mouths a thank you and goes back to moving the crates. You'd better be on your way too. What do we get? We got... oh, is it just Girolles? A bunch of Girolles. I was hoping for maybe... yeah, maybe something a bit better. I'll save them, though, to... unless we can sell them here. And that's Matsutake we need. I'll sell them to give to the refugees in the DLC mission. Well, we're full of condition, we're full of energy. I might just sleep in my house. We're going to go to Feng's Bay in the morning, so that'll be good. I could self-repair. I do have a scrap, so maybe I will. Just try and keep that topped up. Feed the kitty. And let's go. It's a pretty nice dice there. 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. Not going to complain about that. Let's go and see what's going on here. Feng grins at you as the bay door slides open. Above, in the rest of the building, people are busy, frightened. They speak in hushed tones and organize endless meeting after endless meeting. Havenich have avoided a full-blown crisis for now, but change is coming. Feng is in good spirits and bundles you inside before you even have the chance to greet him.
That was the slickest operation this station has seen. He hugs you firmly. You made my job easy.
He shakes you by the shoulders.
I'm so proud. And, he smiles, I got to watch through the cameras as the Havenich security that weren't in on it assaulted the station.
Feng smiled.
One of them straight up just whacked Hardin with their pistol. Oh, it was beautiful.
What are they going to do with him?
I'm not sure anyone knows, but he's cooperating in dismantling his operation and scaring off Conway. Maybe they'll exile him when they're done, or hand him over to some core authority.
Feng shrugs.
Now I know he won't be an issue. I'm going to focus on systems for a bit.
He shakes his head.
Seeing as that's my actual job. He points to the ceiling. The people upstairs weren't so happy, though. They've been fielding questions about the state of the eye, right, and left since the recording got out. People are scared.
Is it true? Feng looks at you directly.
Not if we don't want it to be.
He touches a stack of hardware.
The eye is old, and it was never meant to run like this. The master control points that Erlen and Havenich installed. They'll keep it spinning from the rim. They keep it spinning from the rim. That isn't ideal. But if you're asking me if the eye will stop spinning next cycle, no. He smiles. And me and a ton of other skilled people will be working to stop it happening in the cycle after that. Hardin's problem was that he didn't believe in people. He believed in systems and their ability to shape the world around them.
Feng squeezes your shoulder.
But as far as I am concerned, people should be the ones running the systems, not the other way around. Anyway,
Feng raps on the side of his terminal.
I know you didn't come down here for a lecture.
My tracker.
I haven't forgotten. He produces a thumbnail drive. I managed to finish that code solution I showed you. It's a modified Ripper worm, one made to deactivate that tracker of yours. But in the time since I got back, I added something extra. That tracker of yours doesn't just show SNUP where you are. It transmits data about the state of your body, your current condition. My worm won't just deactivate it. It'll edit that data to tell SNUP your body is irreparably damaged. DNR, do not retrieve. He grins widely. Pretty smart, right?
Oh, that's perfect.
Just slot it already.
You take the drive and hold it in your hand. Then you close your eyes and open up your access ports. Take down your defenses. The worm immediately enters your closed network. It whips through it, taking things with it as it goes. The moment they're gone, you forget they were ever there. They just blink out of existence. A second later, it is done. You open your eyes.
How do you feel? Asks Feng a little nervously.
Free.
Feng smiles widely. Well, you are free, sleeper.
He claps you on the shoulder. Feng lets the word free hang in the air a little before he continues.
Seems like it might be finally time for a celebration.
Feng wraps his arm around you.
Jenna still owes us those drinks.
He laughs and you join him. And later when you leave, you feel deeply thankful for having such a friend. As you walk away from the building, you look up at the wide curve of the eye, up at the hub and the other rim beyond it. The whole thing twinkles with lights, and it seems impossible to see it as anything other than breathtakingly beautiful. It feels, in that moment, like something eternal. That doesn't mean it can or even should last forever, or that it will never change, fade, or decay. It simply means that in this moment, this place has a future, and it is one that you know deeply and truly is worth protecting. Upgrade point. It's only the one, though. Oh. Although the wheel is still on the screen, it's gone. The bounty hunter is no longer looking for us. Perfect. We've got Ethan. I guess we should deal with him. The compressor is almost empty when you enter. A couple of scattered patrons in the booths and a lone bartender. The bartender recognizes you immediately when you arrive and nods, and you return the greeting. You know already that you won't find Ethan here, but you had to be sure. With your tracker reporting you dead, he wouldn't have stuck around. You look at the empty stool, his empty stool, and you smile. You can imagine him on it when his slate chirps, letting him know that the target he was tracking is dead. You could imagine the screaming and the swearing too. Is that all you were to Ethan? Another target? Or was there something else going on? It seems like a foolish question to ask now when he's fled the station. But it bothers you anyway. You take one last look and walk out. You doubt you will ever come back to this place or the memories it holds. You walk back out into the lights of Bright Market and allow yourself a smile. So this is what Feng meant when he said you were free. You could get used to this. Ethan's gone, yes. Off our case. Was that an upgrade point? It wasn't. It's good though. Helping Bliss, waiting to grow our seed. I'm not really doing the sidereal stuff. We could work for Rabia. I might pop over into the Greenway and just see if any of those timers have finished. I think if I click on this, the timer will go. Yeah. So we got 1, 2, I think is it 3 more, 4 more? 4 more on the Gardener's Gift. Got a couple more on the mushrooms. I think this is just scrap. Yeah. I mean, we could try the DLC. Why not? It says late game, but I think this probably qualifies as late game now, quite honestly. So they want 2 Girol caps. Let's give them those. They took 2. Esh sees you coming up the broken spoke and waves you into the cavernous bay of the outclimbing briar. Let's go. I can't remember Peake's accent now. Were they Australian? Ah, you came. Peake smiles as you walk into the climbing briar's cargo hold behind a gloomy Esh. They brought mushrooms. Esh tosses the mushroom caps onto a crate, raising her eyebrows at Peek. Peek gives her a look.
Oh, thank you, Sleeper.
They pick one up and sniff at it.
Are these, edible?
Try it. Peek squints at you and the mushroom before delicately putting it back down.
I'll wait.
We're not so used to fresh produce. Esh is securing crates as she speaks and doesn't look up. Hawthorne doesn't have that much in the way of farming. Hawthorne? The installation we grew up on. Esh wipes off her hands on a rag. XPR loves to name their property after natural things, but that's about as far as their relationship with plant life goes. XPR? Ugh, this an interrogation? She glares. Either way, we're done with that place, which is all you need to know. Esh leans back against the crates she was securing. We're going to need more than a few mushrooms if we want to help those refugees, though. What do they need? Food, water, components, a whole lot of things. Esh stands and walks over to the mushrooms you brought, placing them into a small container with care. The problem isn't just getting supplies, it's getting them through to the ships. Can't you just fly around? And get the Briar seized for breaching quarantine? No thanks, she laughs. We were lucky we got here before the cordon was set up. That's the only reason we're on this side. Why is there a quarantine?
Peek jumps in. The Eye is a closed-loop life support system, just like any orbital installation. Any unfamiliar illness or significantly increased strain on life support could cause a cascading collapse in its systems.
Esh scoffs. Are we making excuses for these bureaucrats now?
Peek turns. We're being realistic, Esh.
But these people aren't an increased strain, they're living people. Esh stares at you. Even calling them refugees is just a way of turning a lot of scared, desperate people into a single, monolithic group. Esh slides the container full of mushrooms into one of the cargo hold's racks. Look, as much as I'd like to chat, we've still got a lot of space to fill in this hold, so if you're going to help...
I think Esh is trying to say we need your help, and quickly,
Peek says, glancing at her.
The refugees behind the cordon, they won't be able to hold out indefinitely. We need to get supplies to them in the next 12 cycles, or...
Esh steps forward. Or Havenage will have to bear the responsibility for whatever happens next. What can I do? There's 3 things we still need to secure. Water, food, and scrap components for ship repairs. Esh gestures to the storage containers around the hold. Water we can find a way to source, or my preference, just siphon off from the underground reservoirs in the Greenway. Peek raises their eyebrows.
Ish?
She ignores them. For food, things could be tricky. Those mushrooms are delicious, I'm sure, but no way we can get enough volume to feed a flotilla. However, I saw an algae stack on the way over, if we can get access.
Not more stealing, Ish? Peek sighs.
I didn't say steal. She stares at them indignantly. If we can get access, we can work the stack, harvest some algae for the flotilla. I realise I've said algae and algae. I'm going to say algae, that's generally what I say. Those stacks turn out vast quantities in short timescales.
In the repair components?
Peek asks, tentatively. Esh smiles. Just look around you, Peek. This whole place is made of scrap. She shoots you a glance. And I'm sure the Sleeper is their sources. They can bring them right here. We get everything before time runs out. Perfect. We get most of it. Also good. Either way, in 12 cycles, I'm going to take what we have and go. But how will you get through? Esh shoulders container. I thought I'd leave that up to you, Peek. They flinch.
Are you serious, Ish? Oh, I know we said we'd help the flotilla, but at what point?
They stop, take a breath.
Take this seriously, Ish. I don't know the first thing about breaching a quarantine cordon.
Maybe not. Esh looks at you. But they might. They slipped out from an S&R facility, didn't they? Plus, they've been here longer than us. You're always trying to get me to find help. Well, here it is. She gestures at you. Help. Peek glances between the two of you.
I swear to... I need to think this one through. Meet me at the cordon in a couple of cycles, Sleeper. Maybe we can figure something out.
Meanwhile, Esh meets your eye. You can help me acquire the supplies discreetly. She smiles. We have to keep this quiet. Keep Havenage out of the loop. Once they get suspicious, this is all over for us. This all suddenly seems a little too real, too dangerous. You've only just found your feet on the Eye. This is not a time for causing trouble. Come find us. We'll be out there trying to pull this all together. Esh goes to the back of the hold to start packing another container. Peek, come help me. Peek glances back at her.
Sleeper, look, we didn't choose this either.
They lower their voice.
Help us finish this. We've set up a base camp on the Broken Spoke. You're welcome to rest there in any of the cots while we work on this.
They smile.
We're in this together.
Peek! Esh shouts, and they walk back into the hold to help with the container. As you leave the climbing briar, you look out at the broken edge of the Eye's ring.
where Havanage's cordon blinks with tiny red lights. What are you getting yourself into? So, we have a new place to rest, which is fine. Don't necessarily need that, but, you know, if we're working on the ship, it's right here. We need to give it a couple of cycles and we can meet peak at the cordon, which is this. This is the supply counter, so they want 8 scrap. Briar's Hold. The flotilla needs food, water and components. You might not be able to get all of them, but Esh will take what you can get. Peak's plan. All the supplies in the world and nothing without a plan to get them to flotilla. That's Peak's part in this. And we've got 12 cycles to do this. 8 scrap. Well, I believe that the scrap ship is currently docked, so we can go and just buy some now. Ooh. Algae stack. Reservoir. Okay. Algae stack. What do we do here? Algae access. It's a 6 counter. Okay, that's good. I think we should be alright with that. The reservoir. Both repeatable actions. Havanage alert. So we can reduce the alert with this one, hacking the sensors. That's an interface one, so we can use like even the 4 will be a 6, the 3 will be a 5, so that's good. And we need water for the flotilla. That's actually 8, so that's going to take a little while. Okay. We've got 12 cycles to do all this. Well, we can go and try and buy some scrap now. We can also find scrap in the wastes, but that's more dice. I think if we click on this, the timer will go. It does, that's very nice. Ah, no, the scrap ship's gone. Ship mine fragments. Honestly, we haven't really been told we have a need for another ship mine yet. So I'll leave that for now. What's Dock B2? Oh, that's going to be the scrap ship arriving. So 4 cycles, we'll get some scrap there. So I suggest I start working on maybe that water reservoir, because that's going to take a little while. Right, let's do the water reservoirs. So we want to do this dangerous one. We'll see what happens with the alert. I'm expecting every action I might need to bring that down. Let's start with our 5s, because that's a 100% positive chance. Yeah, it's only 1. However, it didn't alert them, so that's good. Oh, we got a random scrap item. Well, that's pretty cool. Is that something I get? There might be something I get for engineer. I wonder if it's every time or just a chance to occur. Chance to occur. Well, that's good though, because we need the scrap. Doing fairly well. I might put all these dice in here. Try the 3. It's a bit risky. 25% chance of negative. Negative. Havanage alert, we see. So, I think I'm going to have to... Well, I mean, my 6 will be a 100% positive outcome, won't it? So we will do that. Shame I lost a bit of condition. There we go. So we're halfway towards the water. Used all our dice. I'm a bit worried about this, but we can bring it down. We'd only need a 4 to maximise the chance of doing that. These need a bit more time. I think Bliss needs a bit more time. I think we just go rest. Yeah. Let's go rest. I'm not going to use the scrap to get the condition up, so we'll only have 4 dice tomorrow. It's just we obviously need the scrap to help that. We need 8 bits of scrap for that. Hopefully we can get at least 1 more through engineer actions on the water tower. Ooh, that's a bit low. I might, once I've used the 6, I'm tempted to re-roll those, honestly. The question is, do I want to get the alert? I mean, if I put in a 2... I put in a 3, didn't I? I said 2. I meant 3. That was a 2, so I said what I saw. Positive outcome. Well, we've got rid of the warning, so let's get a bit more water thing in here.
Doing quite well. I'm going to re-roll those dice. We've got 5, so that's good. So that's another one there. And around the scraps, we've got 2 scrap now. That's pretty good. Hopefully we might have a small chance of getting another one there, perhaps. But with the rest of the day, I'm just going to go and get some food from the Haifa commune, I think. There we go. So a bit more energy. And I think we just rest. Mushrooms need 1 more. The tree needs a few more. So yeah, so we're doing okay. There's a bit less to do in the end game. It's good because you can kind of concentrate on single tasks. I mean, there is still loads to do. I mean, I'm not even looking at the sidereal thing, and I'm slightly worried about whether that'll leave Lem and Mina. Hoping having got them on there, they'll be okay anyway, but I don't think it works like that. Alright, well, we should be able to finish this off with our 5 and a 6. And I'm tempted to put the 4 in there. 4 and the 5. 1. Esh needs tanks and tanks of water if she hopes to help the flotilla. Anything less is worthless to her. So that's good. Well, we finished that off now. We didn't get any more scrap, however. Tucked into a service corridor deep below the reservoir, Esh is double-checking the seals on the water tanks loaded into the motorized trolley. Though you are far enough away from any thoroughfares not to worry about being overheard, you both still speak in hushed tones. All good? Esh nods silently and hits the ignition on the trolley to start it moving. You take the other side of the trolley and walk it up to the wide service corridor, with its flickering lights and Solheim detritus. You doubt it gets used by Havanage. At least that's the hope. You glance across at Esh, her face a mask of determination as she guides the trolley along. Maybe some conversation will make this journey go a little easier. What comes next? Esh pauses, a little surprised by your question. She glances back down the tunnel, but in this deserted passage she can hardly keep up the pretense of silence. We keep going, she answers quickly and turns back to the trolley, but she can tell you are expecting her to add more. She seems to gather herself for an answer, not wanting to ignore you, but trying instead to get her answer straight in her head. Our outpost, Hawthorne, is not an easy place to grow up. The administrators keep a tight hold of everything. She rolls her eyes, even though they're trapped in the same decaying installation as everyone else. Peak? She pauses. Peak found it harder than most. She pauses again, judging her words. I stepped in to help them out. Silence descends again, but you can feel the wheels turning in Esh's mind as the creaking wheels of the trolley take you along the corridor. I promised Peak I would get them out, no matter what. So when the opportunity arose, she grimaces, we got out. We got as far away from that place as we could, and we were glad of it. So after this, we keep going, until we're so far from Hawthorne we can't even remember the way back. Esh stops talking, but she has a dark look in her eyes, her mind thinking of the difficulties that the future might bring. You both reach a wide bulkhead doorway and have to stop to shimmy the trolley over the edge. When you are done, Esh turns to you. I'm good from here, head back. And with that she's gone, moving off into the dark tunnel ahead. You watch her go and then turn around and walk the distance back to the staircase you entered from, the tunnel humming around you as you do. As you walk, you try to piece together Esh's past, but all you have are glimpses of a person she once was. She seems to prefer it that way. Right, that's done. So remind me what we need for the algae stack. Algae, I've done it again. Well, I mean, we'll use our 6 here, obviously. And then I'll probably re-roll the 1, see if we get something usable. Oh, we got 2. 5. Awesome. So that should be 4 out of 6. Nice. Got some energy too. Okay. We're going to be starving when we come back, after we've rested, so I might nip down and get some food at Emphasis Place. I could have eaten at the farmers, I suppose. But I'm here now, so we'll do this. I might also check on some of the timers that are going on down here. I think generally with Bliss's timer, I think Moritz comes and just tells us when we're free to do more of that. So I'm not too worried about that one. So I've got Rabia's office still, haven't I? That's still going on. I might need to finish the rest of that clock in order to progress the Sabine storyline again. No sign of the ship yet, I think. Yeah. Oh, there's no way I'm doing this. I mean, if we do everything else and the game keeps going, maybe I will. I don't know what sort of internal timer the game is on. Can't remember. Let's sleep in our place tonight. I'm not going to feed the cat this time. The cat's had... Oh. Complete active scenes. What does that mean? Active scenes. What does that mean? One more cycle on Bliss. We can go and sleep over on the other side, that's not a problem. I'm just not sure what it means by active scenes. Maybe it's a bug? Oh, what scene do you want me to complete? Maybe something at the Briar? Briar Base Camp? Complete active scenes. Oh, I think this might be a bug. Oh, no, Peak. Ah, okay, yeah, I forgot we needed to talk to Peak at the cordon. Beg your pardon. Sleeper! Peak catches your attention from the shadowy corner they were leaning against. Any trouble getting up here? Oh, this place is huge. Oh, it certainly is. Havenage have been busy. Come, take a look at this. They beckon you over to a nearby window which looks across the ruined ring to the blinking red lights of the Havanage cordon. The cordon's temporary structures, a net of metal struts meant to detect and dissuade any ships from entering or leaving the flotilla, jut out into the black. And all around the tugs flit, securing them in place and tending to the red blinking drones that demark the quarantine. Demark? Familiar with that word. It's an impressive and worrying sight. What do you think? Peak interrupts your thoughts. How would you get through? Use one of the tugs? As an escort, you mean? I doubt we could fit all the supplies on one of those tugs, but if it seemed like the Briar was being officially escorted through the cordon... Peak squints at the red lights. Yeah, but then we'd be stuck inside. Peak turns away from the window and rubs their forehead. Esh has really wrapped us up in something here, isn't she? The question is spoken under their breath, and they don't seem to expect an answer. The silence grows. Maybe we try all three. Peak laughs. I like it. At least we should prepare as many ways as we can. The way I see it, there are three parts to making it through that cordon. They gesture out the window at the strange structure. Deception, distraction, and speed. We'll need all of them for a clean passage through. Deception means tricking the cordon security into thinking that we were meant to be there. Maybe a tug escort would work? Anything that makes the Briar look official. Distraction, meanwhile, will be all about diverting attention so that no one looks too hard at what the Briar's doing. If we can create a gap in the cordon's scanning and deterrent systems, that should keep them busy. Finally, speed will mean making sure the Briar is ready to roll. Perhaps we should do a little work on the ship to get her ready. Esh surely wouldn't mind. They lean back from the window. How does that sound? Excellent. Peak grins. Don't get too excited, there's a lot to get sorted before we make the run. Peak looks down at their slate. 10 cycles left. They glance out the window at the cordon nervously. 10 cycles to gather the supplies and prep this plan. Oh, it's tight. Very tight. Peak looks at you. If this goes wrong... Peak sighs. Just get out, okay? They squeeze your shoulder. I'll follow Esh anywhere, but you don't need to get dragged down with us. It won't come to that. Peak brightens up a little. Of course, but, just keep it in mind. Let's get to it. Peak stretches. I'll tell Esh about the improvements to the Briar, and the rest... Oh, let's explore the cordon as best we can and look for openings. I've no idea what guardian angel sent you to us, Sleeper. Peak smiles, but I'm very glad they did. New drive. Okay, I imagine it's just to help cross the cordon. So what have we got here? We need intel. So we have interfacing, which is pretty good. We got a +2 in that, don't forget. It's repeatable. We get +2 for intel. But this one's only 1. So I think with 3 decent dice, 3 or above, we should be able to get that fairly easily. Okay. Meanwhile, we're still trying to do the algae stacks. Seeds almost finished. I think our mushrooms are finished to harvest, but I don't have any more dice. So we're going to have to end the day here. And I think we'll probably end the episode here as well. So let's just do our sleep. Energy's good. Still got the condition for 4 dice, so let's end this cycle. What do we got? Ooh, that's a bad day. I might use the 3 and then re-roll the others. But we'll do that when we come back. So thanks very much for watching this episode of Citizen Sleeper. Hope you're still enjoying it. I definitely am, and it's nice to have content I've not played through before as well with this new DLC chapter. So if you did enjoy the video, please hit the thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about the characters, the story, how it's going here in this playthrough. I think it's going okay. There's obviously things I'm ignoring to to concentrate on other stuff, but I don't think you have the time or the dice to do everything. Some stuff has to take priority, unfortunately. And also subscribe to the channel as well if you've not done so previously, because that would be great. And I'll hope to see you next time for more Citizen Sleeper. Bye for now.